Live recording of Holidays LALATE, giving you a midday update that's lighthearted, easy breezy, with a little bit of holiday decor at the 10-minute mark, but then an update about your second stimulus check and second stimulus package for the earlier part of this recording. I see we got a full packed house, probably the most waiting ever in a room, on a day in which there's so much twisting and turning and a lot of confusion and a lot of says and yays and nays. And I have the breaking details in this recording. In this recording, I'll be going over what happened with Josh Hawley on your second stimulus check. What's going on with Bernie Sanders later today on your second stimulus check. What happened with Ron Johnson, who the president, who the Santa guy is not going to be visiting this year. I don't think he's ever going to be visiting Senator Ron Johnson after you hear what he said. Then I'll be turning back to the weekend, the weekend, not the singer, but the congressional leaders and what they're doing this weekend. And I'll be covering her $12 ice cream. Why is she so pissed? She can't fly and have that $12 ice cream tonight because Nancy Pelosi doesn't stay in Washington D.C. past Thursday. Breaking developments across the board. And as we start this recording, let's get to the breaking news. The breaking news as you start this midday at about 12:15 Pacific Standard Time in the afternoon on the West Coast on a sunny, easy breezy day is that there's still no deal. No deal. Do you think they're having a problem? No deal. They say we're closer, we're closer, we're getting closer. It's imminent. It's around the corner. It's there. It's there. It's sort of they went to the Nancy Pelosi school of dictionary synonyms, and they keep on using these verbs of it's so close, near, really close. And they're having problems with your second stimulus check. They're having problems with other deal provisions now. They're now realizing it. And the more that they start to work on language, because we're legislators, as Nancy Pelosi once say, when they start working on the language and they're like, that's not what I meant. What are you doing? That's not what I meant. So that's where they currently are. Let me recap what happened with Josh Hawley, which happened after Mornings LA when we went live and had 2,000 people in the room, which was just insane. I think it was the most people ever in this room live. When I went live, after I went live with you on Early Mornings LA, which was about 4 hours ago, Josh Hawley, the senator from Missouri, Republican, went to the Senate floor and called for an up and down vote on his standalone $1,200 stimulus check bill, $1,200 for adults, $500 for children. The purpose of it was to just see the reaction, not to necessarily get it passed as law. I briefed you on that this morning. It's not something that you would expect it would do anything. It was more of to get a briefing on where we were. Well, we certainly saw who the evil people in the Senate are, the devils, the pathetic people, the really horrible human beings, the inhumane, the disgusting people. And they are Senator Ron Johnson of Wisconsin, your disgrace. Put him on your no visit for Santa list. Senator Ron Johnson of Wisconsin, who, if I recall correctly, isn't Senator Ron Johnson the guy who wouldn't wear a mask, then got COVID, and then Mitch McConnell closed the Senate because Ron Johnson got COVID and closed the Senate so you couldn't get a stimulus check out. But then it was still open to pass to do Senate hearings for a Supreme Court nominee, and then when 4 days passed or something, and suddenly Ron Johnson was walking the halls of the Senate floor with COVID just a few days earlier, and yet the Senate floor was closed. Ron Johnson, I think, is also the guy who one of the broadcast channels asked him, "What do you think about election night?" "Oh, I don't care about election night. That's bogus." I mean, he basically like threw out the entire electoral college and everything. He's just he's not a nice person. So we got to see we got to see the devil. If he was wearing red, it was not for Christmas. Senator Ron Johnson. So what happened was Josh Hawley called a vote, and he started talking. This is what Josh said. What these Americans asked for is not for the government to solve all their problems. It's not for the government to give them a handout. It's the chance to get back on their feet, a chance to provide for themselves, a chance to recover when they've been asked to sacrifice so much. This is why the least this body can do is provide direct relief, stimulus check, to every working American who needs it. And then came Ron Johnson, probably with no mask on, said, "Oh, this is a joke." He said the first stimulus check should never have been sent out. It was frivolous. It was a squandering of millions of American dollars that never billions of American dollars that should never have been sent out. It was a frivolous waste of our U.S. Dollars, and that it would never should have been sent out. It was a disgusting moment in U.S. history when we sent out stimulus checks in the spring. Yeah, he's a little. Yeah, he's playing Ebenezer Scrooge and the Christmas Carol at your local church this fall. Uh, he's just a little. He said that another round of stimulus checks were mortgaging our children's future. No, they're sort of mortgaging your future. You disgusting person. He said, one of the reasons we're $27.4 trillion in debt is we only speak about the need. We only talk in terms of compassion. We all have compassion. We all want to fulfill those needs. We don't talk in numbers very often. We don't analyze the data. Well, maybe he's talking about Nancy Pelosi. Then Mitch McConnell says, I'm even more optimistic now as of last night that a bipartisan bicameral framework for a major rescue package is close at hand. Meaning there's no deal. That's Mitch McConnell. Let's face it, it doesn't help to keep rehearing. We've had good discussions. No, you haven't had good discussions. Ron Johnson is not a good discussion. Then Holly, so needless to say, procedurally, I told you there was not going to be a passage of Josh's bill. It was going to be fielding the reaction from the Senate floor. We didn't really get a sense of the reaction from the Senate floor because we just had Josh versus Johnson, and it was just sort of like, the Wicked Witch and the Good Witch from the Wizard of Oz. This is like anyway. So Johnson left us wondering what's happening next with Josh and Bernie. They're not done yet. I gotta say, whoever does the photos for, I think it was the Washington Post, they were a little shady in their pictures for the story because they showed a picture of Josh in one of those little trams that take you underneath the Capitol building by himself, sort of sad. It was like, there's Josh in the little buggy by himself, sad. It's like, that's just really shady. I see what you're trying to do. He was not sad. Josh was not sad. So I see what you're trying to do with that shady picture. But so what's going to go on this afternoon? What's going to go on this afternoon is big dramatics and fireworks. We are not done. So is Josh going to block the CR? Josh would not answer, but did suggest he is. Is Bernie going to block the CR? Bernie did not say, but we'll be talking about the situation this afternoon, and did sort of tip off that maybe he is. And then Josh went on the attack. And, the only thing I really like about Josh is he has his focus the right way. When he says things, everything's like, yeah, you sort of agree with him. So you know what Josh said? He said, they're not telling me zip. They're not telling me zip of where they are in the negotiations. I told you this yesterday. The problem is that these people say, we're working on it. Well, what are you working on? What are the numbers? They won't tell you. I told you this. I was this morning on Morning to LA. I told you. They're not telling you any numbers. They're just saying, we're working. Well, what's the number? We're not telling you. How many weeks? We're not telling you. Is it retro? We're not telling you anything. And so this is what Josh said. We've absolutely been in the dark for days on end, and we have absolutely no idea what's going on in this package. AKA, this is Josh talking, AKA that no one in the Congress has any idea what's going on in these negotiations. I don't even think they're negotiations. I just think it's just... So Josh said, what's going on? Give us a briefing. Where are we? And then this is what Josh said. So get ready to smile. I'm not willing to sit by and be told nothing and be given no information and just asked to do as you're told. That's him talking. This is reaching a point of absurdity. I love it. I love it. I'm going to read that again because I like it so much. Josh, I'm not willing to sit by and be told nothing by you people and be given no information about what's going on between Chuck and Nancy. I'm not going to just be asked to do as you're told. That's referred to, Mitch, of course. He's just not saying it. This is reaching a point of absurdity. I love it. So then when asked whether Josh would vote in favor of the $600 stimulus checks or block it, He refused to comment. Uh, so that's the start of the day. Then there's Bernie Sanders. He and Bernie Sanders have this is I think this is Washington Post I'm reading from. Now I'm reading from Washington Post. He and Bernie Sanders said they warned they will use procedural powers they have act as a thorn in the side of the leadership unless individual checks are included, and may hold out unless it's $1,200. Sanders is expected to make a similar push for a standalone bill for $1,200 checks later in the day. Josh told News. I hear all kinds. This is Josh talking. I hear all kinds of stuff, and I read it from you guys. I read it from the news reporters, but I hear nothing from the leadership of the Congress. I hear zero from anybody in the negotiations. I have no idea what's going on. I'm not prepared to sign off on any continuing resolution budget bill until I know what is going on. I love it. I love it. It's finally someone who absolutely says something, it's just like, so let's recap. There is no deal. We don't even know what the proposals are at this point. There's no deal. We don't know what the proposals are at the moment. We don't know. No one is being briefed about the proposals, which is a big thing. I mean, that's really a big thing. Let me explain something clearly, because I have not made this clear. When I say there's no deal, when I'm saying deal, I'm referring to 4 people. They got to pass it before, I don't know how many members are in the Congress. There's more than 4 people in the Congress. They don't have anyone agreeing to anything they're saying so far. So when I say deal, I mean deal with 4 people. That's like, themselves and their multiple personalities. When there's 500, I don't know how many people are in Congress, 200, 300, 400. They haven't briefed anyone on anything. So no one else knows what's going on. So they literally have no idea. It's sort of like, do you want to tune in for the final episode of Breaking Bad? Well, why? Is there something going to go on? I'm not going to tell you. Do you want to buy a ticket to watch the final episode? Why? I don't know what's going on. Well, Josh is like, I'm not going to be shoved something down my throat. I don't know what's going on with you people. You're not telling me anything. I'm learning everything from the broadcast news reporters and LALATE. He didn't say that, but I'm just sort of adding that in. That's basically what he's saying. He said, I don't know what's going on. So why am I going to sign off on something? I don't know what's going on. What did I miss? And Don just joined the room. What I miss? Larry's already in here, so Larry can't say what I miss. There's going to be 2 more people going to join. Say what I miss. Where's Harold Mandel for deal or no deal? This is going to be a no deal. So as you sit here today, there is proposals across the board on the stimulus check amount. There is no deal among 4 people on anything. They are not briefing anyone on anything. And that's a serious thing. I've covered that throughout the last 6 months. There was a time in which the Republicans took issue with Steve Mnuchin because he was doing things with Nancy Pelosi. And they're like, well, you haven't asked us. Why are you doing things with Nancy Pelosi? You haven't asked us whether we're going to agree to these things. And they actually said that on the record. They said that to broadcast. I'm like, why does Steve Mnuchin keep on negotiating for us? We are Republicans as well. He's not met with us and asked us what we want to do. And the irony of the situation is you have Democrats and Republicans who have no idea what's going on in the negotiations. I don't think they're negotiations. That's why I keep on saying negotiations in the whatever drafting or chatting, and they have no idea what's going on. So you have both sides unhappy with the situation. Now, the flavor that Johnson brought to the conversation, while he sounds like the devil personified, and there is a problem at hand. And the problem at hand is the sort of demonization, the disparagement of people who need a stimulus check. There is, and I talked to you about this yesterday, you're seeing it sometimes on the broadcast news, you're sometimes seeing it from elected officials. There's a demonization and a disparagement of people who need a stimulus check. And you now see what their narrative is, that the people who need a stimulus check are people who never worked a day in their life. So people who don't work don't contribute to the society as a whole. Their narrative is that if you worked, you're going to get unemployment assistance. And if you're laid off, you're going to get unemployment assistance. But if you were not working when this pandemic hit, you don't need relief from the American government. That's, oh my God, says Becky. Yeah, I want to explain where they're going with this argument. What they're going with this argument is that you don't contribute to the American economy because you don't work. You were not working when this pandemic hit. You were not working in 2019, and that you don't serve a reason to be stimulating this economy because you don't contribute to this economy. That's basically what they're saying. Uh, and they're saying if you need assistance, then you would have been working or trying to get work before this pandemic started, and you will get unemployment assistance. You're not in need of a stimulus check as well. Um, that I want to explain what about SSI? They don't think you contribute to the society economically. I want to explain what they're doing here so you understand why this is so horrible. I want you to understand what bad people in Congress think about. They think that people who are on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, railroad benefits, veterans, Social Security, people like that, that you don't contribute economically to the society. That you were not employed when the pandemic hit. You were not employed in 2019, and as a result, you should not get any type of economic relief. The people who should get economic relief are people who were employed. That is what they're claiming. And they don't care that I see your comments. They don't care you're paying taxes. They don't care that you served as a veteran through three tours of service overseas and have now been a retired veteran for 20, 30 years. They don't care that you worked 30 years trying to put two kids through college and now are a senior citizen, retired, and pay your taxes and receive Social Security. They don't care. They don't think that these type of people. They don't think that those that you should get stimulus, and that is where their mindset is. And I hope that Bernie really gets that message across clearly. He did it one time yesterday in the MSNBC interview. And it's important to understand that they really strike at that argument because that's what they're basically saying. They're saying we need to save restaurants, we need to save hotels, we need to save airlines. We don't need to save people who weren't doing anything. That's what these horrible stories are about. So for the people who just joined the room, because we started 500 people, now we're heading to 1,800, and we're at 17-minute mark. Let me explain where we are. People are saying, "What are we getting?" No, there is no deal. There is no deal, and let me back up to where we are. The federal government will likely shut down at 12 midnight tonight. The federal government will likely shut down 12 o'clock midnight tonight, which means much of nothing to you or me. It has no impact on you whatsoever. It does not mean your unemployment check doesn't come. It doesn't mean that your Social Security check doesn't come. It means absolutely nothing. The shutdown of the federal government has no impact on you, the viewer of this channel, for a day or 2 days. It does if it goes on for a month or 2 months. It's not going on for a month or 2 months. So the federal government will shut down tonight at 12 o'clock tonight. There will likely be no extension granted because no one's going to approve this extension. And I can tell you right now, you can bet me $1. Every broadcast news channel is going to have the dramatic music, breaking news, the government's shut down. They're going to do that all day long, as though it's some really dramatic moment in broadcast news report. The government is shut down, and then they're going to do this sort of. I saw one of the videos earlier. It was just so melodramatic. They did this pan across a COVID testing site with 500 cars in queue, and they said, the government is shutting down, and millions of people are going to be left on the street tomorrow morning. It's just, okay, it's just melodramatics to get broadcast news reporting coverage. That's just not true. There's nothing happening between today and tomorrow that impacts you one penny. There is nothing that's going to impact you between today and tomorrow, one penny. You're not your UI and PUA benefits will expire in December at the end of the month. They're not expiring yet. Your FPUC are expiring in July. Your eviction moratorium and mortgage forbearance are not expiring to the end of the month. So the broadcast news reports claim that something's going to happen fatalistically and catastrophically in the next 24 hours. Untrue. It's just bad TV programming dramatics to just get you to tune in. So there's that thing. So where are these people? What are they doing? Let me explain. What did I miss? You're 20 minutes late. Goodness. They're in timeout, says Ann in the Instagram room. Where you are right now is a bunch of people that are sort of like the secret society. We don't really even know who they are. 4 to 5 people are chatting or negotiating to get what they would call a deal among the 4 or 5 of them. I'm going to make that clear again. 4 or 5 people are chatting, and they have been chatting since Tuesday, to get a deal among the 4 or 5 of them. They don't even have the 4 or 5 of them agreeing upon anything about it. 4 or 5 for the entire country. 4 or 5 people are sitting in a room chatting about something. They're not identifying who they are. We don't know really who they are. And every 10 seconds, you have people appearing on broadcast news as though they're in the room. They're not. You have these sort of ancillary, these junior House representatives who just got elected yesterday want to get a book deal or something like, I want to thank Nancy. You're not in the room. You don't know what's going on. So just zip it. You have no idea. You have about as much knowledge about what's going on in the room as Grandma M and Stacy Lynn. You don't know. You're not there. So just zip it. There's 4 or 5 people and they're chatting privately. And then they're going to come out and say, the heavens have opened. The heavens have opened. The 4 of us have agreed to a deal. The 4 of us have agreed to a deal. The heavens have opened. And then Josh is going to say, wait, where was Josh's quote? Let's read Josh's quote. If you're just joining the room. Josh's quote is, I'm not going to sit back and have someone shove something down my throat. That's basically what he said. Josh's quote says, I've been in the dark for days on end what's going on in the negotiations. We have absolutely no idea what's going on in this package. I'm not willing to sit back and be told nothing and be given no information. Just ask, do as you're told. This is a reaching point of absurdity. So the 5 people are going to emerge from the refrigerator of cream. The refrigerator of cream, that from the Temple of Doom. They're going to open the Temple of Doom and the ice cream's going to fall out and they say, there's a deal. And then Josh will say, can we read it first? Can we read it first? I haven't seen it yet. And then they're going to tell Congress on both sides to agree to it. They will likely put it to the House to a vote. And the flock of sheep in the House may or may not agree to it because, the flock of sheep, Nancy's flock of sheep, agree to everything. And then it'll land in the Senate. And at that point, fireworks are going to burn up. Fireworks are going to burn up because at the moment it's getting more and more heated. It's not getting less heated, which is good. Your work is working. Hashtag Senate vote no, hashtag House vote no is working. It's melting the $12 ice cream. It's melting the $12 ice cream and it's making the lobsters claw more than ever. The heat is really heating up and they don't like you, which is great. You don't want them to like you. They really just don't like the purple power. It's like, can you just stay, can you just go in the corner and just zip it? We're trying to screw you over. Just keep it quiet for a while. No, we're not going to allow you to screw us over. No, it's not. That's not going to happen. As I love a good fight, says Miranda. And so if it ever gets to the Senate, it may not get to the Senate. Hashtag House vote no may work. That's our stretch. That's our reach of a hashtag because I don't know if we're going to get House members to block this. Hashtag House vote no. And then when it lands in the Senate, then Senate vote no. And then as Brad Colbert just correctly did a nice hashtag, White House vote no, or Trump vote no, because there is potential that the president will veto anything that even passes the Senate if it's not $1,200. The president yesterday had meetings yet again and said, what's going on? I'm not doing $600. Who the hell said $600? I'm not doing $600. If you did not tune into to Mornings LA, let me explain what the president's taken on all this is. Before this started, the president met with Mitch and said, this is what I want to do. This is what I want to do. And Mitch came out and said, we are not going to do this budget bill unless I have the agreement of the president of the United States on what we're going to put into this. That was then. Since then, Mitch has sort of thrown that out the window, and Mitch has gone and done what he wants to do again. And so Josh Hawley has met with the president day after day after day, and has urged the president $1,200 to $2,000 stimulus check and veto anything that's small. The president last night had enough and said, "I'm likely to go to $2,000. I'm not doing this bogus $600 crapola." And apparently, they didn't want this to get out and settle him down because they're afraid he's going to blow up the deal. Well, everyone else wants to blow up the deal. He's not alone. The president's not alone in wanting to blow up the deal. You want to blow up the deal. I want to blow up the deal. There is no deal, of course. Blow up the process. Bernie, Josh, AOC, Elizabeth Warren. I mean, can you see a more dramatic, different group of people all agreeing upon the same thing? This is the spirit of the Purple Power. We have AOC and the President of the United States agreeing upon the same thing. When are you ever going to hear me say this? Where is AOC? She needs to be more vocal. She has not been vocal enough in the last 24 hours. We have Elizabeth Warren, who said something yesterday but was not as vocal as she was 2 days earlier. These people need to be a little bit more vocal. Josh's comments are great, but not everyone is doing what Josh is doing. AOC needs to get some fire under her feet. Elizabeth Warren needs to get some fire underneath her feet. And they need to talk up. The progressives in the House have really gone silent. The U.S. Progressives, which is the Twitter account of U.S. Progressives, have gone silent. Where is AOC? Viewers are saying what someone's just said in the comments above. AOC was told to zip it. I don't know if you could ever tell AOC to zip it, but AOC has gone really silent. And Elizabeth Warren has sort of become sort of muddied, not very much on point. The U.S. Progressives have not said much, and this is the time. And Larry in the Instagram room just said AOC must have been told to hush it. Josh suggests that he was told to hush it as well. He said, "I will not do as I am so told to do," which he's basically saying someone told me to zip it. Josh is basically saying someone told me to zip it, and you expect that. Trump needs to step in and really get it going. Trump did apparently last night say that he has seen America's reaction to the $600, and that he's not happy to America's reaction to the situation. That it's very much on point. The president is not happy with the reaction of the American people to the $600. Trump needs to do executive order. Someone just said in the comments. Another person, Danielle, said executive order. Yeah, I mean, he needs to do an executive order. This is the time in which he needs to do executive order or say, "I'm going to veto it unless it's $1,200. The easiest thing to do is just have a press conference, say, "I'm going to veto unless it's $1,200. He needs to just stay there and say, "I'm going to veto unless it's $1,200. And what that does is it basically says, "Hey, put $1,200 in it or your bill goes nowhere. You're wasting everyone's time. Don't bother everyone unless you put $1,200. When the president tells you what he's going to veto, then he means this is what I'm going to veto. I'm not going to do anything." And remember vetoing, which I have not covered since I think last night. You have to get more votes in favor of something to get override a veto. And at this point, it doesn't look like they're going to get it. Remember, I think 4 days ago, I said to you that they have to potentially get a unanimous vote on the Senate for this. At this point, they look like they don't have that. And the reason why the unanimous vote was needed is because of the threat of a veto. Yes, executive order. Grow some spines, Congress, says Ann in the super chat in the Instagram room. And so there you go. What hashtag for executive order? I think maybe we should do. I mean, I think the veto is the more clear. I mean, we could do hashtag White House vote no, hashtag Senate vote no, hashtag House vote no, hashtag Trump vote no. I think hashtag Trump vote no might be easier. It's less words, and 1,200 or veto. No, I think you want to sort of keep it clear because it looks like it's the same group of people that are doing the same hashtags. Hashtag Senate vote no, hashtag House vote no, hashtag Trump vote no, and make it very clear. This is a debacle. So if you're joining me at the 29-minute mark, there's no agreement on anything. They don't have the four people have no agreement on anything. And there's other things they don't have agreement on as well. The only thing that came out good today, beyond everything else, the other thing that came out good today is that one of the senators appeared on MSNBC and said we needed eviction moratorium and mortgage forbearance. So potentially maybe that's in there. We have not heard about that for days and days and days. So that's the change in development. Um, let's turn to some holiday decor, which is usually at the 10-minute mark, but now we're at the 30-minute mark because there was a lot to cover, and there's 2,300 people in the room. One of the things to understand with holiday decor, and you don't see it so much on this set, is that after you get the holiday decor out, and today is what, the 18th? After you get the holiday decor out, declutter the room. Declutter the room. And so this is what you're going to see with me. I'm decluttering the area around in front of the Christmas tree. I'm finishing up the Christmas tree. And declutter the area around the Christmas tree so you get it festive. You get the main, if you're Catholic, you get the manger in position. If you're non-denominational, you get the pine cones in position. You get the lights ready. Declutter the area around the tree. Declutter the area in which you're going to celebrate, and make it very clean and inviting. I always ensure that there's enough chairs in the room. It sounds ridiculous. It sounds ridiculous. It sounds like there was an old Absolutely Fabulous sketch where you need a lot of chairs. Well, you do need a lot of chairs in a room that's supposed to be festive because you want to sit down and just sort of relax and look at stuff. And ultimately, you may not have a Christmas tree. You may just have a plant. You may just have a cup of coffee. You may just have your cell phone and a cup of coffee, and me and you and the rest of the Purple Power. But decluttering the room is one of the cleanest ways to sort of keep things sort of relaxed during the holiday season. There's nothing more stressful than looking at a lot of clutter in a room right before you're about to just celebrate it. And the celebration of a holiday season is sort of a relaxing of the mind. There's some wonderful, wonderful YouTube clips that I have found. I can't post them on them because of copyright issues, but you can go look at Tony. There's a Tony Bennett. There's a Frank Sinatra. There's an Ella Fitzgerald clips on YouTube that are almost 400 to 500 minutes long. There's almost like 2-3 hours. You just click them and they play that individual's entire Christmas album. Some of them are 20, 30 years old. You just play the clip and you can walk around the house or walk around your apartment or wherever you live and just play the clip, and it's just really wonderful. That's Ella Fitzgerald, Tony Bennett, and Frank Sinatra. I listen to one or two of them all the time, and they're really just very inviting, very simple, and it's right here on YouTube, and you'll see it because it'll show an image and it'll show something that says 900 minutes or 400 million minutes, and you'll know that's a big clip. You'll know it's a big clip, and you sit back and relax. And one or two of them, and this is really nice, one or two of them actually have a video with a fireplace burning on the video, so you can listen to Frank Sinatra, Tony Bennett with a fireplace burning. Dean Martin's Christmas album is a good one. Yes, Jennifer Hall. Yes, Dean Martin. I think his is on YouTube as well. Really quite beautiful. And so if you declutter the room and just get your cell phone and put it to that clip, put it there, put the music up as loud as you can on your cell phone, put it to full volume. And thank you, Patricia, for the super chat. And just relax. You have no idea how relaxing it is. It's really soothing. It's very, very soothing. And a cup of hot tea, a cup of coffee. Nothing says the holiday spirit as just music and relaxing and some coffee or tea. And it doesn't cost you a penny. You already have the connection. You already have the internet. Someone just dropped me a very good comment on Instagram. Who should we tag for everything? Who should we tag? So first, you want to tag House vote no, Senate vote no, to at Hawley MO, which is Josh Hawley. Also, he has a PR Twitter handle. That's his public relations Twitter handle. At Bernie Sanders, at E. Warren, at AOC. Then you want to do it with everyone in the White House. And with the White House, you may want to add Trump vote no. And you want to tag Mnuchin, Meadows, and I don't know if Kudlow reached anything. The press secretary and the president as well. Then you want to go over and tag the people on the fence. So you want to tag McConnell, his communications director, and his press secretary. With that, I'll be joining you on Afternoon's Check, which will be taped at 3:30 Pacific Standard Time. Afternoon's Check will be taped. Perhaps we'll have some updates then. Then I'll have big updates about state stimulus. I'll be going over those details about state stimulus, and I'll be looking up some more details for you as well. That falls on Purple, which is taped this afternoon. And then I'll be back live on afternoon on Being a Mitch. I'll be back live for Being a Mitch and going over your unemployment questions as well. If you have questions or comments to today's video, drop them in the comments below. Be sure you subscribe. I have not said that in all the live feeds. Make sure you subscribe. Go to the Fun's channel, hit the subscribe button. Make sure you hit the alert button. Also, like this video. And with that, see you in a little bit. As always, stay informed, stay smiling, and stay at Valley for more.